Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for ALCOSAN's Act 537 Plan Special Study Public Meeting. My name is Joey Valerian. I am the Director of Communications here at ALCOSAN. It's my pleasure to have you with us today. We're very excited to be bringing you this information about our new regional tunnel system and the related infrastructure that ALCOSAN will soon be building. Couple of housekeeping items I want to go over first. As you may or may not see, this is being recorded. We will post this and tonight's session on the website for those of you who want to go back and reference anything. If you have questions, if you have comments during the presentation today, please utilize the chat feature here in Zoom. Towards the end of the presentation, we will have a dedicated segment where we will read out all of the questions and answer them, or we will read your statements as you post them. So please, as you go along, feel free to put questions into the chat. We do also have a few people making public comment. We'll do that before the Q&A at the end of the presentation today. So for those of you who are watching, if you want to send us a question or comment, or if you are signed up for public comment and you are not watching me on Zoom, you are in the wrong place. So please go back and join us on Zoom so we will be able to hear from you. Lastly, let me just introduce my colleagues today who are going to be taking you through this journey. Kim Kennedy, who is our Director of Engineering and Construction. Mike Lichta, who is also our Director of Regional Conveyance. And lastly, but surely not least, is Michelle Vise, who is our Director of Environmental Compliance. So with that, we'll start the presentation and I will turn this over to Michelle.
Thank you, Joey. Good morning. On behalf of the ALCOSAN Board and our Executive Director, Arletta Scott-Williams, we welcome you to our public meeting on the Regional Tunnel System component of the Clean Water Plan, and more specifically, the associated Act 537 Special Study. I'm Michelle Vise, the Director of Environmental Compliance at ALCOSAN. Today's agenda is a short presentation followed by questions and answers. This is the first meeting today. The second meeting will be at 7 o'clock this evening. This meeting is part of a series of public meetings aiming at building community awareness, collecting input, and responding to questions relative to the Clean Water Plan and the Regional Tunnel System. Many public meetings have taken place as part of the Clean Water Plan, the development and the implementation. The latest public meeting was last month on February 1st, 2022. It focused on providing an update to the Clean Water Plan implementation. This public meeting is focused on the Act 537 Special Study. This is a necessary step for towards planning, design, and construction of the regional tunnel system. Let me tell you a little bit about ALCOSAN. ALCOSAN stands for the Allegheny County Sanitary Authority. ALCOSAN provides wastewater treatment and serves 83 communities in Allegheny County, including the city of Pittsburgh. We currently own and operate a 59-acre wastewater treatment plant that has a capacity of 250 million gallons per day. It serves 83 municipal communities, and its capacity and treatment operates 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We have 90 miles of sanitary sewer and combined sewer lines that conveys wastewater to the treatment plant. ALCOSAN is completely funded by our ratepayers. As you may know from the signs along the rivers when you're walking along the trails, our existing sewer system can become overloaded during rain, storms, or snow melts, and diluted, untreated wastewater then overflows into our rivers and streams. During a typical year, approximately 9 billion gallons of sewage mixed with rainwater overflows into our current waterway system. This problem is not new, but the region is required to work towards improving and protecting the quality of the waterways as part of the federal consent decree to comply with the United States Environmental Protection Agency's combined sewer overflow policy. Now I'm going to hand it over to our Director of Engineering and Construction, Kim Kennedy, and she will walk you through the Clean Water Plan and the Act 537 Plan Special Study.
Thank you, Michelle. As part of the federal consent decree, ALCOSAN has developed a long-term plan to address the sewer overflows that Michelle discussed. The Clean Water Plan was approved in 2020 as part of the modified consent decree. The first phase of the plan must be completed by the end of 2036, and it involves a $2 billion investment in 2010 dollars. The plan implementation will reduce the sewer overflows and provide other benefits such as jobs and opportunities for economic development along the rivers. So the Clean Water Plan includes 4 components. First, we have the wastewater treatment plant expansion, which will increase treatment capacity to 600 million gallons per day. Construction started in 2020 on the plant expansion. Second, regionalization. Regionalization involves municipalities transferring ownership of their sewers to ALCOSAN to make it easier to address operation and maintenance at a regional level. This program is voluntary for participation by municipalities and only addresses sewers that are 10 inches and greater in diameter and carry flow from more than one municipality. The third component of the Clean Water Plan is source control, which aims at preventing excess water from entering the sewer system in the first place. And ALCOSAN is incentivizing the source control program through a financial grant program known as GROW, the Green Revitalization of Our Waterways. Since its inception in 2016, the GROW program has offered grant awards to 136 projects in the ALCOSAN service area. And the fourth and final component of the Clean Water Plan is the regional tunnel system and the wet weather pump station, which leads us to today's main topic, which is the Act 537 special study for this project. So negotiated into the modified consent decree is opportunities for adaptive management, which means that ALCOSAN can adjust the investment between components that I just discussed based on new information as the plan implementation progresses. Proposed projects must be able to meet equivalent combined sewer overflow control performance to be approved by the agencies to swap out the projects that have already been approved. ALCOSAN negotiated the modified consent decree to spread the cost of compliance over a longer time frame. Following the submission of the wet weather plan that estimated the full compliance cost to be around $3.6 billion, ALCOSAN negotiated the modified consent decree, which managed affordability concerns by spreading the cost over a longer time frame. The modification split the implementation into 2 major phases. The first phase is the $2 billion Clean Water Plan, which must be complete by 2036. The second phase will be developed beyond 2036 based upon post-construction performance monitoring of the projects implemented in the first phase. In contrast to the original consent decree, mandated completion of the original consent decree mandated completion of the entire $3.6 billion by 2026. With the modified consent decree and the Clean Water Plan, it's a $2 billion plan And we got 10 more years till 2036. So there will be rate increases. ALCOSAN's rate strategy manages cost impacts to our ratepayers. By implementing multi-year increases through 2036, ALCOSAN can reduce our long-term borrowing costs, provide rate increase stability to our customers, and provide for transparent budget planning. ALCOSAN's board recently implemented a 7% rate increase for the years 2022 through 2026. This year, the cost of the ALCOSAN wastewater treatment and conveyance services will be around $549 for a typical residential customer, or about $1.50 per day. ALCOSAN does appreciate the impacts of these rate increases on our low-income households and has recently increased the Clean Water Assistance Fund to $40 per quarter. More information on the Clean Water Assistance Fund can be found at dollarenergy.org. So today's focus. Today marks the official release of the Act 537 Plan Special Study and the Uniform Environmental Report for the Regional Conveyance System facilities. The term regional conveyance facilities consists of the wet weather pump station and the regional tunnel system. The Uniform Environmental Review discusses the temporary and long-term environmental and community impacts of the new facilities. Today also marks the beginning of the public comment period, 60 days for our agencies and 30 days for the general public. So what is an Act 537 Plan Special Study? Well, the Pennsylvania Sewage Facilities Act requires municipalities to develop and implement comprehensive official plans that provide for their current and future wastewater management needs. ALCOSAN first approved the 537 plan in 1996 on behalf of our 83 customer municipalities. It was then amended in 2018 to address the expansion of our wastewater treatment plant, which is currently under construction. A special study is a key component of the permitting process that will allow ALCOSAN to proceed with the construction of the regional tunnel system as required by the modified consent decree. The study will also have to be adopted by the 9 municipalities along the tunnel route. The municipalities that we have been working with to adopt the plan are shown on this graph. So I just want to reiterate, the 537 special study is a planning level document that is based on the Clean Water Plan and the preliminary basis of design report for the regional tunnel system. This study does not provide, evaluate, or approve the specific details of the tunnel system or the wet weather pump station. These will be addressed through subsequent design and permitting processes. Additional public engagement will occur during the detailed design phases of each project. So today we will go over a few highlights associated with the underlying items on this slide. And details, I just want to point out again that the full details of the plan are available on our website, as well as a companion document. And then also point out that ALCOSAN has been preparing and updating wastewater plans since 1996. And so this 537 plan special study for the regional conveyance systems is just our most recent effort, as can be shown on this flow diagram. So now I'm going to turn the presentation over to Mike Litchney to talk about some specifics.
Thanks, Kim. Let's first talk about the existing facilities. The existing ALCOSAN system was constructed in the late 1950s to the highest engineering standards of the day. The existing system was designed to capture dry weather flow through a series of regulators and deep tunnel interceptors and send that flow to the ALCOSAN plant for treatment. Approximately 30 miles of deep tunnel interceptor was constructed in bedrock, approximately 100 feet deep. Prior to the construction of the ALCOSAN system, all sewage went directly into the rivers, no treatment. Changes to the Clean Water Act in the 1990s, including the EPA CSO policy, required municipalities and wastewater treatment authorities to capture significant amounts of additional wet weather sewage flow and limit discharges and overflows to the rivers. The proposed regional tunnel will capture the combined sewer overflows and will reduce annual discharges of sewage by over 7 billion gallons. Now, how will ALCOSAN accomplish this? New regulators will be constructed on municipal combined sewer overflows and will capture the sewage prior to discharging to the river. The regulators will send the flow through a consolidation sewer and thence to a drop shaft that will send flow to the regional tunnel and then to the ALCOSAN treatment plant for treatment. The new regional tunnel will be approximately 150 feet deep and will be constructed in bedrock. This places the new tunnel approximately 50 feet below the existing ALCOSAN deep tunnel interceptor and about 120 feet below the three rivers. The new regional tunnel will be up to 18 feet in diameter. The completed tunnel system, when finished, will be approximately 16.5 miles in length and have a storage capacity of roughly 160 million gallons. The finished tunnel will be fully lined with concrete liner plates as shown in the figure on the left. The top three figures show the types of near surface facilities that will be constructed to send flow to the regional tunnel. Regulators will be constructed on the municipal combined sewer overflows, and these will then send the overflow to consolidation sewers to drop shafts that will convey flow to the regional tunnel. Shafts are also needed to launch and retrieve the tunnel boring machine. Tunnel boring machine will be much similar to the tunnel boring machine used in the North Shore Connector project. Shaft diameters will range in size from 15 to 60 feet in diameter. The plan includes approximately 45 regulators and approximately 4 miles of consolidation sewers. The top three figures show facilities as being constructed. Following construction, the sites will be restored to original or in better condition and look similar to the photo on the bottom. This figure shows the regional tunnel system as currently proposed. The tunnel system will be constructed as 3 projects. The Ohio River Tunnel, or ORT, in green. The Allegheny River Tunnel, or ART, is shown in blue. And the Monongahela River Tunnel, or MRT, is shown in orange. These projects will be phased and will need to be completed by 2036 to comply with our consent decree. The tunnel, when completed, will flow to a new 120 MGD wet weather pump station located at ALCOSAN treatment plant. The location of near surface facilities, drop shafts and regulators, are shown as squares on this figure. and will be constructed on large municipal overflows. The location of near surface facilities are largely fixed by the location of these large overflows. In conjunction with the ALCOSAN wastewater treatment plant and other flow management and reduction improvements, the regional tunnel will reduce sewage overflows by approximately 7 billion gallons per year. The newly constructed system will also stop sewage overflows to sensitive areas such as riverfront parks, marinas, recreational areas, boat launches, and areas near drinking water intakes. This figure shows the spatial distribution of combined sewer overflows in the ALCOSAN system. The vertical bars represent the amount of sewage currently overflowing to the rivers at each location. The interim clean water plan, to be completed in 2036, will virtually eliminate these bars and the corresponding sewage overflows. I'm going to turn it back over to Kim, and she's going to discuss the alternatives analysis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. So the proposed facilities that Mike just discussed were selected based on extensive work. The study summarizes the extensive analysis, alternatives analysis conducted as part of basin planning, the ongoing flow reduction program, as well as most recently preliminary planning. This graphic illustrates the process, which involved the evaluation of over 20 system-wide alternatives. So here is our implementation schedule. The proposed regional tunnel system schedule is driven by the modified consent decree. The implementation of the tunnel system will span 15 years and must be completed by 2036. There is about a year after construction that will be needed for commissioning and startup of operations. The first projects are the Ohio River Tunnel and the wet weather pump station. The design for the Ohio River Tunnel started late in 2021, and it will take over 2 years to complete the design. Construction of the Ohio River Tunnel is anticipated to start in January of 2025 and last through the end of 2028. Operations of the ORT will effectively start at the end of 2029 after the commissioning and startup phase. And of course, this schedule is subject to change as design and permitting processes progress. So where are we now? A lot of work has obviously been done to date, and there's obviously a lot more work to do. We have been working with our municipal customers on the special study, and now here we are ready for the official public release of the study as part of the public participation process. So we are asking for comments on the plan to be submitted within the next 30 days so that we can develop the responses and include all of your comments and responses in our final submission to the agencies. We are working towards a goal of submitting the final plan to DEP by either June or July this summer. So there are multiple methods that you can provide your input on the plan. A reminder, again, that the plan is available along with a short companion document for download or just viewing on our website at alcosan.org. Comments received today will be collected and treated the same as written comments. So you can submit your comments on our website. That functionality will open upon conclusion of this meeting. Email them directly to us at public.relations@alcosan.org or mail them to our office at the address shown on this slide. So hard copies of the plan can be found at the municipal building in each of the 8 municipalities and in the Department of City Planning in Pittsburgh. Hard copies are also available at the Carnegie Libraries, the Allegheny branch in the north side, the south side branch, Lawrenceville, and Hazelwood. And we ask that you continue your engagement and interest in the ALCOSAN Clean Water Plan. After this study is complete, there will be continued opportunities regarding the regional tunnel system and all of our components of the Clean Water Plan. So we encourage you to visit our website and to sign up for our updates, and also follow ALCOSAN on social media. Okie dokie, so now it is time for questions. Right. But first we are going to allow for the public comments. So I will turn it over to Joey to handle that.
So thank you very much, Kim. We do have 2 public comments today. I would ask if Gavin White and Anna Coleman, you 2 are on the line here. Would you please raise your hand and we'll get you guys started. There's 2. Gavin, you can unmute yourself and your 3 minutes can begin.
Okay, well, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. This is a really exciting step in what I know is a really long process, and I appreciate the time. My name is Gavin White. I'm a Hazelwood resident, and I work as River Life's Director of Planning and Projects. I'm here to speak on behalf of River Life. We think ALCOSAN's Clean Water Plan is a seismic undertaking that will ultimately improve the quality of our rivers. We're hopeful that the investment contemplated is able to leverage additional resources and partnerships to ensure that these construction sites, those identified in the study, can also be home to new improvements that benefit ratepayers in additional ways. You know, we know that these are costly projects and that rates will be going up. We hope that there's opportunity for us to work together to bring additional funding to the table to ensure that there are above ground benefits as well as those significant and important tunnels that you're constructing. So we're working toward a process of doing that actually with ALCOSAN's tunnel engineers in the West End, and we've been working with Kim Kennedy and her team and continue to do so. We're coordinating with community members, PennDOT, and others, and hoping that collaboration can really multiply the return on investments around the West End Bridge and Sawmill Run. We're also hopeful that that's a process that we can reiterate elsewhere to improve the riverfront experience as this construction goes forward. We look forward to working with ALCOSAN and its ratepayers to bring above ground benefits to the community in addition to this critical below ground work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gavin. We appreciate that. Okay, next. I believe this is Anna Coleman. Anna, you should be able to unmute yourself and speak as well.
Hi, can you hear me?
You can go ahead.
Thanks. Hi, my name is Anna Coleman. I'm the environmental justice organizer at Pittsburgh United and coordinate our water campaign. As Gavin said, just grateful for the opportunity to provide public comment and to have this public comment period officially open. So as you all know, this project represents one of the largest public work projects in our county's history. And this public money really belongs to all of us. And while I'm so happy such a large amount of funds are available for such an important project, I'm also anxious to make sure that these funds are used as effectively as possible. Public funding is so precious, and there are a million different needs that ought to be met with public dollars. And while clean water is certainly at the top of this list for the safe and health of our people and planet, but the pressure exists around using such precious resources so would like to encourage decision makers to conduct this project with flexibility and open-mindedness so that there's no option unturned that could have improved the project. One of my primary concerns in this area is the climate resilience of the tunnels. Rain generally, as well as extreme rain events, are likely to only worsen in the region due to climate change. So we just need a system that can adapt. And while I know the planning process is incredibly rigorous and super long, this is just something I feel anxious about being prioritized as this is going on. And to have total faith in the process, I feel like we need leaders that are open-minded and considering the many options that exist for making the system more resilient. So namely, just a firm and genuine commitment to researching how green infrastructure could make the system more climate resilient for the future. So yeah, that's basically it, but thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Al. Okay, we will now move on to our question and answer. Again, I remind everyone, if you do have something you'd like to ask or make a comment, please use the chat feature here on Zoom. We do have one comment for a question, I should say, from Jesse Bunch. Can you explain how the cost of the project went from over $3 billion to $2 billion? What was removed or reduced?
Sure. Thank you for the question. So what was reduced was to take it from the 9 billion gallons of an annual overflow to 0. So this was the compromise. We, for affordability, took it from $3 billion or to $2 billion, but that's what I was talking about. Then there will be a next phase beyond 2036 after we complete the projects in the first phase, which we call the Clean Water Plan. And that's what the study is about. But there will need to be a phase beyond 2036. And those projects will take the overflows, that will take the remaining 2 billion gallons of overflows down to below that. So that's what was removed or reduced to make the program affordable and then commit to doing a second phase beyond 2036.
You're welcome. We will actually mute ourselves here, give you guys a couple of minutes. If you have any questions, we will read them as they pop up. If not, we will wrap up this morning's presentation. Well, I suppose we must have done a really, really good job of explaining all that information because nobody else seems to have any questions. So again, we thank you for joining us. There are opportunities for you to send us questions or send comments. Again, as Kim said, on the website, as soon as we can conclude this meeting, will be a form that you will be able to fill out and leave a comment. Otherwise, there are our social media options. You can send an email to public.relations@alcosan.org. These will be posted again on the website. So if you miss something, you can go back and watch the video again. And we do have a question. Understand that there were 2 shaft contracts, 1763 and 1764, that were approved for procurement. Can you explain a bit about how these tie into the overall program? Maybe a bit about each contract.
Yes, these contracts are more akin to large diameter manholes that are placed on the existing interceptor system to conduct maintenance of the existing system. These are not for the proposed regional tunnels. So these manholes or contracts that were approved were being installed and are being installed to conduct maintenance, including television inspection and cleaning.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Thanks, Mike. Evidently, Brian agreed with your answer. Okay, anyone else going once? Going twice. All right, everybody, we do appreciate your time and your interest in ALCOSAN, and keep an eye on our website and social media. We've got a lot of exciting things happening. Thank you very much.
Joey,
Yes, ma'am.
this evening.
Yes, let me remind everybody that there is another session tonight at 7 p.m. We will do it here on Zoom again. So again, if you want to watch, please join us. Thank you very much.